I would love reconciliation with my family. I don't know how much longer my father has. You know, he won't speak to me because of this security stuff. But it would be nice to reconcile. If they don't want that, that's entirely up to them.
It's hardly a secret that the palace has already conducted secret meetings with members of the government to discuss putting the plan into action.
The hypocrisy is beyond anything I've ever seen.
He's a duplicitous, self-centered, vile, disloyal hypocrite.
Harry and Meghan, they have an issue when it comes to their memory and when it comes to the truth.
Hey, it's the husband formerly known as Prince. Any luck getting a job?
Oh, they had me driving for Uber Eats, but there were too many damn rules. Don't touch the food, don't taste the food, drive on the road.
I'm sorry, Rowdy Weddy.
When the stakes are this high, doesn't it make more sense to hear our story from us?
Oh, shut up. What do you mean the stakes are this high? Who do you think you are? Other than a latte-munching imbecile living in luxury in California while the rest of the world's a cost of living crisis, moaning and whining about an institution which gave you the titles on which you now trade millions of dollars. What are you talking about? What stakes?
Now, a staggering 2/3 of Brits are calling for Harry and Meghan to be stripped of their HRH titles.
Meghan has said through a representative today that she is not using the HRH title. We have literal, tangible proof.
Prince Harry might soon find himself stripped completely of his royal title. Shockingly, this once far-fetched scenario is now dangerously close to reality.
Now, the king can end this feud, not by shaking hands with this treacherous little weasel, but by stripping him and his wife of the royal titles that they love to use for commercial gain without doing any of the work.
A new poll by Find Out Now has revealed that most of the public is supporting the king in this family feud, ongoing family feud, after Harry's bombshell BBC interview. It follows the Court of Appeal's decision to not overturn the ruling on his security in the UK.
Recent polls reveal that an astounding 2/3 of the British public now support removing Harry and Meghan Markle's HRH titles, pushing their royal status to the brink of collapse. For months, the Sussexes have weathered relentless criticism, but this marks a seismic shift. Citizens are not merely irritated, they are openly hostile.
You're in America now, and we don't give a shit about you. You're not our fucking prince. You'll never be king. We hate your wife. Stay at home in your $29 million mansion, all right? But I just can't stand her. I just think she's such a phony.
A widespread sense of betrayal has permeated public opinion, fueled by relentless accusations of hypocrisy and exploitation of royal privileges for commercial benefit. Harry's recent media blitzes and explosive memoir have sparked a fiery backlash, especially his candid admissions, which are perceived as disrespectful to the royal institution.
It's not a financial thing. Working royals do not profit. They do not use their names to make money. It's an honour to have an HRH.
Absolutely.
So the fact that she's continued to use this HRH when they've been instructed not to, I think is absolutely infuriating in Buckingham Palace.
With public opinion plummeting drastically, this has transformed into far more than a family feud. Now, it has become a public mandate that even the palace cannot ignore. This intense dissatisfaction isn't merely symbolic. It's influencing genuine policy discussions, setting the stage for an unprecedented move against Harry's royal status. But then, as tensions escalate even further, Parliament itself has quietly begun pulling powerful historical levers that could erase Harry's title permanently.
Oh my God, I can't even. These two, Meghan and Harry, are the worst.
Take me out back and shoot me, okay? Just end my agony now.
Let's chat about Meghan Markle. She couldn't be more cringe if she tried.
I've never seen this sort of. I've never seen someone that struggles to just give us like one strip of authenticity.
What if I told you that a forgotten law from World War I could now become the sword that severs Prince Harry's ties to royalty forever? Behind closed doors at Westminster, the Titles Deprivation Act of 1917 once, used to punish royals with German loyalties, being dusted off, ready to be wielded in the 21st century. This relic, silent for more than 100 years, is now at the center of hushed conversations among among lawmakers determined to hold the Sussexes accountable. In a twist that even royal insiders never saw coming, Parliament has shifted from mere whispers of discontent to actively considering a move that could strip Harry of his most prized identity. The gravity of this act is staggering. It was last invoked during wartime to protect the crown, and now it is poised to address what some see as a modern betrayal of trust and tradition. The revival of this ancient statute signals that the stakes have never been higher for the Sussexes. The question is no longer if action will be taken, but how quickly it might come. But then, as legal gears begin to turn, a single gesture from Meghan Markle sends shockwaves through the palace, reigniting outrage on both sides of the Atlantic.
Now, when Meghan Markle and Prince Harry decided to leave the royal family, they agreed with Queen Elizabeth that they would not use their official title, His Royal Highness or Her Royal Highness, in any commercial capacity. And despite that, Meghan has now readopted Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. But not only that, she's also started to use Her Royal Highness, Duchess of Sussex.
It was agreed with Queen Elizabeth that they will not use the HRH title. That is a long-standing precedent, and there's good reason for it. Basically, the HRH is only given to working royals and senior members of the royal family.
She's slaughtered this weekend because there were some business cards in the back of one of her podcasts. She's still using her royal title, HRH, despite our late Queen warning her against.
Now, Meghan, just last week, she did her first long-form sit-down podcast interview. She showed a basket that she had sent to the host of the podcast as a thank you for allowing her to come on. And here you can kind of zoom in here and it says, with the compliments of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex.
Would you believe that a simple thank you basket could light a fuse beneath Buckingham Palace and threaten an entire royal legacy? That's exactly what happened when Meghan Markle sent a gift to a podcast host, topped with a label reading, with the compliments of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. Instantly, a seemingly innocent gesture turned into a scandal, violating the agreement Meghan and Harry made with the late Queen Elizabeth to never use their HRH status for personal or commercial gain, after stepping away from royal duties. This breach wasn't just a lapse in etiquette. It was seen as a deliberate flaunting of the rules, provoking outrage among palace officials and royal watchers alike. Critics accused Meghan of playing both sides, rejecting royal responsibilities while cashing in on royal prestige.
You dropped off this gift basket with ice creams, homemade strawberry sauce to put on top of the ice cream.
Prince William, he's reportedly furious after it emerged that Meghan Markle is still using her HRH title despite agreeing to drop the title when the Sussexes left royal duties.
I think Meghan Markle has been very brazen recently with the use of the HRH.
Inside the palace, the gift basket's label became the last straw, not because of its contents, but for what it symbolized: a blatant return to using royal titles for self-promotion. Suddenly, what started as a podcast thank you morphed into parliamentary ammunition. But then, as fury and frustration reached new heights, lawmakers seized this moment to launch a bold new legislative attack designed to cut the Sussexes off once and for all.
Being that Meghan and Harry are not official members of the royal family anymore because they stepped down, they're not allowed to use their HRH title.
But of course, the real measure of success of both of them will be the same as it always has been. How much damage can they inflict on our royal family, on our monarchy? I said it before, I'll say it again tonight. King Charles should strip them of all their remaining titles and cast them out from any connection to the royal family. How could any of them trust them, as far as I could throw them? Because without it, they're just whining millennial windbags with a permanent victim complex, knowing that victimhood is what makes them all the money.
Imagine hearing that a brand new law, crafted with laser focus on Harry and Meghan, could erase their royal privileges with a single stroke. That's exactly what's happening behind the polished doors of Parliament, where two unlikely political allies have pushed forward the Dignity of the Crown Act. This proposed legislation is not mere symbolism. It's a weapon loaded with real consequences. If passed, it would empower the monarchy to suspend or remove noble titles immediately if they are used for foreign political gain or commercial exploitation. Gone are the days of drawn-out court cases or endless royal debates. This act promises swift, decisive action. Insiders reveal that the paperwork is already marked confidential, locked in the vault, and ready for use.
Well, Her Royal Highness Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, is about to be stripped of her official title.
Yeah, she's gaslighting, she's lying, absolutely. And this is just another one of those examples of Harry and Meghan disrespecting the Queen. I know she is no longer here, but that does not mean that the rules don't apply to you any longer.
The message is clear. Any member of the royal family caught crossing this line risks losing everything. For Harry and Meghan, whose brand is built almost entirely on their titles, the threat couldn't be more serious. Their lucrative deals, speaking tours, and charity projects all hang in the balance. But then, just as the legal trap closes in, a new wave of public outrage explodes, shattering any illusions of the Sussexes holding on to their royal status without a fight. Would you believe that Harry and Meghan's multi-million-dollar empire could crumble almost overnight just by losing their royal titles? That is the stark warning, coming from entertainment insiders and legal experts who say the couple's brand value could drop by as much as 60% if Parliament moves forward with stripping their Duke and Duchess designation.
The American actress who became a Duchess, who tried to destroy the royal family, which then booted them out of England.
We immediately went into the trenches together.
Yeah.
But she said she was in the trenches. She alludes to being in the trenches when she was in the British royal family. Girl, you lived in a castle. Like, you got a princess title. People were falling at your feet. People would run your bathwater for you. I mean, I could list the perks. I could list them forever. The trenches, she has got to, the Delulu is on another level. Sometimes I envy it.
Corporate sponsors, publishers, and global streaming platforms are drawn to the royal shine, not simply the personalities. Without the Sussex stamp, Harry becomes just another disgruntled memoir writer, and Meghan, a former actress with a faded crown. Even their charity, RQL, could suffer, as donors often give not just for the cause, but for the allure of royal prestige. Already, signs of decline are visible podcast deals have fizzled, and the explosive success of Harry's memoir, Spare, now seems like a one-off rather than the beginning of a dynasty.
Harry's digging an even bigger hole for himself here.
Well, I think he's dug so deep now, he'll strike water any day now.
She is relentless, she is shameless, and she is exhausting. You are not a successful female entrepreneur.
The world of high-stakes media and sponsorship is unforgiving, and the clock is ticking. But then, as the business world grows uneasy and deals begin to stall, a tidal wave of public opinion rises, sending shockwaves through both Parliament and the palace, and making the threat of losing the Sussex titles feel inevitable. Could you imagine a public backlash so overwhelming that it unites voters across the entire political spectrum against Prince Harry and Meghan Markle? That's the new reality, as recent nationwide polls reveal an extraordinary level of agreement among Britons from all walks of life. Support for stripping the Sussexes of their titles now reaches an astonishing 71% among Conservative voters, 68% among Labour supporters, and even a decisive majority in Sussex itself, the very region their dukedom was meant to honor. This is not just a fringe movement, it's a landslide. Even in areas traditionally sympathetic to royal figures, patience has run out. Local residents are openly distancing themselves, with some declaring that Harry represents Netflix more than he represents their community.
Now that the once carefree, fun-loving prince has turned into a miserable moaner, lashing out from the depths of his paranoia at a world he thinks is conspiring against him.
Harry and Meghan, the dreariest couple in the history of planet Earth.
So do you. Before we get into it,
Won't need these anymore. Can crowns go in the recycling bin?
Toss them on the Goodwill pile. Out with the old. In California, we're just a regular couple living close to Oprah and far from the paparazzi. Woo! But not too far.
This cross-party unity signals that the push to remove the Sussex titles is not a passing trend, but a groundswell demanding real action. The palace and parliament are feeling the pressure as every poll tightens the vice. But then, as these numbers hit the headlines, the royal household reveals it has quietly prepared its own drastic moves, turning what was once just talk into a looming reality that could change the royal landscape forever. What if I told you that the royal family has already armed itself with the tools to erase Harry and Meghan's titles at a moment's notice? While public outrage surges and parliament debates rage, King Charles has quietly prepared draft letters, patent official royal documents that can strip titles with the flick of a pen. Behind the palace's polished silence, these royal erasers are said to be ready for immediate use if lawmakers hesitate or political delays threaten to stall the process. Even more telling, Prince William, once the diplomatic mediator, has now reached his breaking point. He has reportedly stopped correcting the press when they refer to his brother as simply Mr. Mountbatten Windsor, a move that speaks volumes within royal circles. It's more than a subtle signal, it's a public declaration that the royal family is prepared to move forward with or without the Sussexes. This growing resolve at the very top suggests that Harry and Meghan's final lifeline to royal status could be severed not just by Parliament, but by their own family. But then, as the royal household hardens its stance, a showdown in the House of Lords promises to turn this family drama into a national and global spectacle. Inside the hallowed halls of the House of Lords, anticipation is reaching a fever pitch as the petition to strip Prince Harry of his royal status is officially placed on the table. This is no empty gesture or symbolic protest. This is a petition backed by real momentum, with the votes and the willpower to push it through. Behind the scenes, whispers grow louder about global streaming giant Netflix, allegedly lobbying members of parliament to quietly kill the motion, fearing the loss of the royal brand that makes Harry and Meghan so valuable on the international stage. The stakes have never been higher, and the drama is no longer confined to palace gates. Insiders claim that if this lobbying memo ever leaks, the fallout could rival the biggest scandals in modern British history, with NDAs, PR firms, and powerful Hollywood names caught in the crossfire. Parliament is heating up, and lawmakers are preparing for a debate that could reshape not only the monarchy, but the global entertainment industry. As the world's eyes shift from family squabbles to political warfare, one brutal question lingers if Harry's title is erased. What is left of the Sussex identity? But then, as the parliamentary clock ticks down, the threat of an identity crisis becomes impossible to ignore. Losing a royal title is not just a ceremonial blow, it strikes at the very heart of Harry and Meghan's public identity and global marketability. Suddenly, Harry is no longer the Duke of Sussex, but simply Mr. Henry Mountbatten Windsor. Without the magnetic pull of royalty, his memoirs become just another celebrity tell-all. His media interviews lose their global luster, and his invitations to world stages may quietly dry up. For Meghan, the change is just as dramatic. If she cannot claim the Duchess title, she must compete in a crowded influencer world, stripped of the prestige that once set her apart from every other public figure with a social media presence and a ring light. Industry analysts warn that without royal branding, sponsors will grow cold, audiences will lose interest, and the Archewell charity could see donations plummet. In Hollywood, where reputation and relevance are everything, the drop from Duchess to celebrity is steep and unforgiving. The transformation is profound. One day global icons, the next, simply a couple in California searching for a new narrative. But then, even as this crisis looms, powerful forces inside the palace and parliament are poised to make decisions that could alter royal history for generations. The battle for royal identity is now on a collision course with history. Commentators call it nothing short of cultural warfare and explosive, once-in-a-century confrontation that could rewrite the royal rulebook in real time. Never before has a member of the royal family faced such sweeping rejection from the public, the press, parliament, and even their own kin. The last time Britain reached for the Titles Deprivation Act, Europe was engulfed in war. Now, it's a battle of reputations, influence, and the very meaning of monarchy itself. The world is watching as the House of Lords prepares to vote on the Sussex titles, with a single decision poised to erase centuries of tradition or reinforce them with finality. Some call it overdue justice, others a ruthless spectacle. But no matter the outcome, once the crown draws a line, there is no turning back. The stakes could not be higher for Harry, for Meghan, and for the royal institution they once called home. In the coming days, as Parliament debates and the palace prepares, the world will witness the unraveling of a royal saga, unlike any before. Will Harry's royal status be wiped from the history books, or will the Sussexes find a way to cling to their crown? This is more than a tabloid scandal. It is a turning point that may forever change the meaning of royal blood, privilege, and legacy. The crown is on the line, and with one fateful vote, the royal family could redefine itself for a new era. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over.